What's up, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. It is nice out, so we're taking a little bit of a break from working on the vehicles and getting the shop all clean. So I figured this would be a great time to do a power tools video. Been wanting to do this for quite a while, so I have them all lined up here on the bench. Something to keep in mind is I did not buy all these tools at once. There's quite a few of them here, and I don't have the funds to get them all in one lump sum. So I've been getting them over the years, and a few of them are quite old, and then I have several newer ones that I've gotten that kind of replace the others. I've got 3 different brands here on the bench. I have DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Snap-on. I only have a couple of the Snap-on guys, so we'll save those for the end. But let's go ahead and start with DeWalt, since this was the first brand of tools that I ended up getting as far as power tools go. So for the DeWalt stuff, the drill as well as the impact driver were the first 2 that I ended up getting. I got those in a kit. They've worked really well over the years. I've used the crap out of the drill. It's a little bit bulky, but it does really well. The impact driver I haven't used too awful much. I've used it here and there, but not a crazy amount. The next one that I got was the 3/8 impact. This thing has been awesome. I've used this a whole bunch over the years, and it has held up great and done its job. The next tool out of the DeWalt series that I ended up getting was the 1/2" impact driver. This thing is awesome. I've used this a bunch, and I still use it to this day for a lot of the bigger stuff, whether it's pinion nuts or nuts on the back of transmissions or yoke nuts on transfer cases. I also take it on trips for lug nuts, and I would rather have the bigger one on long trips or trips further away from home. That way it does take off the bigger stuff in case the smaller one won't get it. I have one that will do everything I need. So this thing has been awesome. I love this. I'd like to down the road probably get the Milwaukee and try that out, but at this point there's not really any need to do that since the DeWalt's working out fine and doing everything that I need. I've also got this little flashlight. I think this came with the drill and impact driver kit that I got a long time ago. I don't really use this too often. I have my other flashlights, the flex head ones from Harbor Freight that I use all the time, so this doesn't see a lot of use. Sometimes it gets used, but not too often. Also, with all these here in the back, they are all a 20-volt system. You can use the other batteries like the flex volts on them, but I don't have any of the 18-volt stuff. I really like the 20-volt, and I've just kind of stuck to that for all of them since that's the more modern setup that we have. The next one on the list that is by far probably one of the best purchases I have done is the cordless Sawzall. This thing is amazing. I bought this, and I got it with 2 flex volt batteries, and it is freaking sweet. I use the crap out of this. There's a lot of stuff I do outside, and I don't want to drag the cord around, so this is awesome. It gets in there and gets the stuff cut. The one downside that I'd have to say with this is it's a little bit bulky. I think I'd like to get the smaller one they have for the little bit tighter areas, but that's kind of a toss-up, you know. It's bigger and bulkier because it's stronger. It cuts a lot better and just goes right through the stuff. I've used this a bunch, and my dad's borrowed it a bunch. He really likes it. It does good. It's been tossed around and beat up a little bit, but still working good. I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the leaf blower. This isn't really anything that helps me in the shop per se, unless you want to blow off the floors or your toolboxes. I got a friend that does that, and it seems to work pretty good, but I got this a couple years ago, and it's one tool that I wished I would have bought sooner. It works nice for outside. We don't have a crazy big lawn, so there's no need for a gas-powered one. The batteries on this thing last quite a while, especially when you're using the flex volt ones. You can also use the smaller ones. They don't last quite as long, but it does really well. When I'm blowing leaves and whatnot, I'll probably go through 2 or 3 of these for doing our complete yard, all the graveled area, and getting all the leaves picked up. I really like this, and I wish I would have bought it a lot sooner. So if you're looking at getting one, I definitely would recommend this. The last tool of the DeWalt series that I just picked up a while ago is the cordless grinder. This thing's pretty good. I use this quite a bit when I don't want to drag the cord out or getting into some of those tight areas where the cord would just get in the way. I will say this thing definitely goes through batteries. It uses them up quite a bit faster than I was hoping it would. But it does do good for a lot of different things. If I'm doing a lot of grinding on something, I will drag out the corded one. That way I'm not just running through batteries all the time. And it seems like the corded one has a lot more power when you're actually like putting good pressure on there, trying to grind something away. It has a little bit more power than the cordless one is. But it seems to do good, and I think it was a decent purchase. It's nice and handy so you don't have to drag out the cord for those smaller jobs. Now that we've went over all the DeWalt tools, I guess I should tell you probably my favorite tools out of the bunch, or the ones that I use the most, and that would be the 1/2-inch impact driver, the Sawzall, and the leaf blower. I use those things all the time. They're great tools to have. The Sawzall was quite a bit of money, but it was well worth it. I would definitely pay that again, and I'd get the flex volt kit like I did. And then the 1/2-inch impact, I just bought the tool only since I had the batteries already, but I would recommend that. I wouldn't mind having either the DeWalt or the Milwaukee. I think they're both great. They're very, very comparable in what they do and the performance, so those would be the ones that I would recommend for sure. Before we move on to the others, if you're wanting to get any of the tools that I have here on the bench, I will have links down in the description, or you can go check out my Amazon store, and I should have all this up on there. All right, moving on to the Milwaukee stuff. All of the Milwaukee tools that I have are M12. I don't have any of the 18-volt stuff yet. I was wanting some tools that were a little bit more compact than like a full-size 20-volt DeWalt or an 18-volt Milwaukee. So I decided to go with the M12 stuff since DeWalt didn't really have anything that I liked or was very appealing, and Milwaukee has been killing it on the small compact line. So for these tools, the first ones that I ended up getting were this 1/4-inch impact driver as well as the drill. I got those in a kit, and I think they came with a couple batteries. I use the drill all the time. It's pretty small and compact. That's my favorite part about it. It's not like my bigger DeWalt drill. So this is great because it's easier to carry around and maneuver. And then I use this a little bit for interior stuff. Once again, it's small and compact. It's not as big as my DeWalt one. So between these two tools right here, they kind of phased out the impact driver as well as the drill on the DeWalt stuff. I do use the DeWalt for, bigger jobs. If I'm doing a lot of construction stuff, I'll use that one instead of this. The next one on the list that I ended up getting was the 3/8 impact. I use this thing all the time. This is their stubby version, and it is freaking fantastic. It gets into a lot of tight spots where a regular one won't, and it is very powerful. I use this just all the time. It'll take lug nuts off. I've taken yoke nuts off. It's surprisingly powerful. I'm very, very happy with how well this works, and I would for sure recommend this to someone else. This is the tool that I did a giveaway on a little while back on the channel. I might have to do another one of those here soon. Drop a comment down below if you'd like to see some more power tools given away. And then I also have the 1/2-inch stubby impact. The main reason I got this instead of just using that one is for the bigger sockets. There's bigger 1/2-inch drive sockets that they don't make those sizes in 3/8 drive. So if I want to use a 1/2-inch socket in the bigger sizes, I can still keep the length of this relatively short with this stubby. I don't have to have adapters in there making it longer. So that's the main reason why I got the 1/2-inch. It's not really needed, but I do use it sometimes. All right, on to the 3/8 drive ratchet. This thing is another tool that is awesome. It's small, compact, and it gets in a lot of areas that are hard to reach. I bought this, and the first time I used it on the Toyota, it was for a bolt that was really hard to get to. One of those that you just get a slight turn on it, and it takes forever to take out. So this has paid for itself for sure. I would recommend this over and over again. I use this one quite often. It is a great tool to have. Maybe this one will be the one we'll have to give away. Get another one of these in a kit or something like that. Next up is this angle grinder. This thing is also awesome. I've used this quite a bit. You can change these out to different heads, whatever you want to use, but I use this quite a bit for cleaning the surface on different things, whether it's a diff, if you're resealing the cover, just different stuff like that. The one drawback or complaint I have with this is it doesn't fit my hand very well. It's pretty bulky. I would love to see them slim the handle down on this. I mean, it works fine. It's just I have small hands, so I'd like to see it a little bit thinner. But it is a great tool to have. I know they have a straight one out now, and I would like to get that as well, but I have not done that yet. I've also got this little mini Sawzall type deal. I've tried to use this quite a few times, and I'm not a fan of this. I do not think this was worth getting. It just sits there and vibrates. It doesn't have a lot of power. You can stall it out pretty easy if you're pushing too hard, and it doesn't cut through the stuff very easy. It's not like my big DeWalt Sawzall. That thing rips through the stuff, and this does not. I mean, it comes in handy in some of the tight areas where you have to have something small like this, but overall, I don't really think it's worth it. It's given me more headaches than not, just because it doesn't work very well and it doesn't have enough power. So, out of all the Milwaukee M12 stuff that I have, my favorites would have to be the 3/8 stubby as well as the 3/8 ratchet. These two tools are freaking awesome. They are well worth the money, and I highly recommend getting them. Just these two have kind of axed out a couple of these DeWalts. You know, I never use the 3/8 DeWalt anymore because I'm using the stubby. I still use the big 1/2 inch one, mainly because these don't have the same power as them. The small drill pretty much eliminates this bigger one quite often, but these are definitely the two tools that I love out of the whole series the most. Okay, so last on the list is the snap-ons. We have 3 of them here. We have a 1/4 inch impact driver, as well as a 3/8, and then a 1/4 inch ratchet. These are actually Cassie's. Now that she doesn't work at her old job where she needed these, we've been using them here quite a bit. I really like this 3/8 impact driver. It works really well. I was undecided how much I like the trigger, you know, this forward reverse style, how they have this set up, but it seems to work really well. It fits nice, and it's pretty powerful. So we use those quite often. Cassie usually uses these. She likes them a little bit more. And then once again, these electric ratchets are the bomb. So we are always using this and the Milwaukee. I think they're great. I'm not so sure that I'm sold on, you know, getting the snap-on over the Milwaukee, especially because of the cost difference. You know, the Milwaukee does great, so I don't know that I would go out of my way to buy these, but she has them and she's liked them and they work good, so I guess there's no real room to complain since they're working just fine at the moment. So as you can see, I am definitely not a brand-specific person. I have both DeWalt and Milwaukee tools here. I really like the M12 series. I would like to try out the 18 volt series for Milwaukee. Might have to get some of those down the road. The only downside to that is I have a bunch of tools from DeWalt here that are in the 20 volt as well as the 60 volt flex. So since I have a bunch of batteries from DeWalt, I keep, you know, going to that side and getting the DeWalt tools versus the Milwaukee. But who knows, maybe someday down the road we'll have to change it up and try out the 18 volt Milwaukee series. It just kind of sucks. The tools are expensive. They take a little bit of time to save up and get them. But I think what I have here, I really like them and they're well worth it. I've had extremely good luck with all these. I haven't had any issues with either the Milwaukee or the DeWalt, so I would recommend a lot of these. There's a few of them that I don't use much anymore, but that's mainly because I've gotten newer ones that kind of push those out of the way. They're not as needed anymore. Alright guys, I hope you liked the video. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while now. I've got a bunch of power tools, so I figured you guys might like to see some more about that. I will have links down in the description to all these if you want to go check those out, or go check out my Amazon store. I'll have all the links down in the description for that. Make sure you hit that like button if you like the video. Drop a comment down below if you want to see more tool videos. There's a couple others I'd like to do, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.